tell me what you think. Talk about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. It is Monday, August 31st, 2020, and it's what I call Man Up Monday. Man Up Monday. This is an opportunity for us to chat, me, you, and my guest, about issues related to things that are concerning men. But the women can chime in as well. This is an interactive live, so I do encourage you all to communicate with us via the comments. That is the way that we will see you and engage with you. So before I introduce my guest, I need to know where you all are watching us from. So if you will, in the comments, put the city and the state that you are tuning in from, the city and the state that you are tuning in from, so we can give you a shout out. We are live here on Facebook, but also via Greater Works Network. We are on Roku TV live streaming right now. So if you have a Roku TV, by all means, connect with Greater Works Network, which is our new network that is on Roku, and we are streaming live there. So check us out. So where are y'all tuning in from? Let me know. Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Let me city and state in the comments. Let me know who's watching. While you all are doing that, again, it's Man Up Monday, and we have a special guest who I have actually known. We were talking before the broadcast. It's probably been about 12 to 13 years that I've known this brother. Always cool, calm, collected, always making moves. So it's no wonder he is a financial agent with New York Life. So welcome, Mr. Tory Ford. With me, he is going to be talking about accountability and finances tonight. So welcome, Tory.
Evening. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Same here.
Yes. So tell the folks where you're from, what you do, who you are.
So, hello to everybody out there and listener and looking land. My name is Tory Ford, originally from Mount Vernon, New York.
Money earning Mount Vernon, right?
Money earning. That's right. You can't forget the money earning in that Mount Vernon. Yep. I moved down to Tallahassee, Florida to come down to go to school at the highest of 7 hills, the one and only Florida A&M University, home of the Rattlers.
Yes.
So, orange and green is in my bloodstream.
That's right.
And it goes deep. Surprisingly came down to play sports.
Okay.
And play sports a little while for FAMU, and then reality kicked in. So you know how you know the rest.
Yeah, it's cool. And
then had to pay some bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't come from a silver spoon, so I can't call home and say, "Mommy, Daddy, I want to continue to play sports." I called home and Mommy and Daddy said, "Hey, son, figure it out. 150 miles away from home. You better figure it out because you're not coming back here."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's how my story started.
All right. So, but you've been in the broadcast arena via Cumulus, and got involved in financial services because you were actually with another company previously.
Correct.
But moved over to New York Life. So, what caused you to get involved in the insurance world?
So the journey and path to where where I am now is a little unique. I didn't have much guidance. It was one of those things where I was introduced to it and only just introduced to it.
Mm-hmm.
Figured it out on my own. Picking up books, doing some research online, shadowing other people, researching the industry. We call it legalizing. Before it was one of those things where, you know, I would get on the market and I would trade and I would know about financial services via banking.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know so much about love insurance and legacy leaving and things of that nature, what I do for a living now. Finding out that information, seeing how I can better my community, finding my why in this industry, kind of shaped me who I am today, and you know, providing a lifestyle for my family, providing a lifestyle for other families out there. That's the greatest joy I could possibly have.
All right, awesome. So you said a few terms that I'm sure that you will give a bit of clarity on as we move along. You said love insurance and you said legacy leaving. I like both of those terms. So I'm sure you'll tell us more. But before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to some of the folks that are checking in. We got Jasmine.
Jazz.
Yes, we got Seta.
Oh, that's my sister right there.
We got Shapiro.
Hey.
We got mutant entrepreneurs. Let's see. Seta said represent. And we got Shinell Jefferson. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Please, if you have questions, by all means, look, this is the time. We got the financial expert here tonight. So
I don't know about an expert, but you know.
Oh yeah. Oh no. You better walk in it. I don't even want to hear that. Don't be trying to be humble now. No, walk in it. Financial representative, financial agent. We're gonna talk about it. Especially, look, we it's Man Up Monday, so I want you to talk to the men.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be direct. I want to say this before we start.
Yeah.
I've had great success in my industry and in my career, but I want to be clear with one thing. I don't know everything. I want to be honest.
Okay.
You know, whatever I don't know, we're gonna learn together.
Yes.
So let me put that out there.
Roosevelt seems to think otherwise. Roosevelt said he is the best.
That's my brother. Thank you.
Seta said, "Oh yes, he's an expert."
I'm okay.
Karen said, "Yes, expert." All these people can't be lying. I'm sorry. All these people can't be lying, Tori. I know you humble and all of that, but everybody is chiming in now.
Thank you all.
All right, cool. So, you know, accountability and finances. Those are our topics tonight. So where you want to jump in first?
So let's talk about this legacy, right? Because a lot of us don't experience what we call trust funds or what we call silver spoons. We don't come from glorified backgrounds. We don't come from mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa leaving us $1 million and a bunch of property and a bunch of land. Mm-hmm. And I think our community as a whole, we've just missed the boat. And it's no fault of our own. It's just something that we have to kind of teach our future, teach ourselves and give us another path to look forward to. And I think the most cost efficient and most effective way to do so is through love insurance. You don't see immediate gratification, but there are so many features that insurance can provide for you for the betterment of your community locally here. Like in the end of 2019, I think I will put back about $56 million of tax-free income back into our community here in Tallahassee.
Wow.
So that's something that you have to kind of look forward to when you sit down and speak with families about the trajectory of where it can be. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that we really have to take into account when it comes down to our future is let's think about leaving legacy. Let's think about changing the narrative from us struggling as a race and culture to us flourishing for a mere investment, you know. And granted, it's not the best situation because of what happened to be able to get that legacy. Mm-hmm. But if I ask you a question, Nicole, and I ask all my clients the same thing is, can you name your great-grandfather? So research has shown, right, and I do a lot of research. Research has shown that the reason why the majority of people cannot name their great-grandfathers because they didn't leave any legacy for them. Think about it. If your great-grandfather left you 50 acres and a bag full of money, you'll roll his name off your tongue.
True.
Right?
You're right about that. I surely would. Look, I would be singing his praises.
So I mean that's just one of the many things that we can think about as a whole, as a community, as a races. Let's change the narrative and let's leave a legacy for our loved ones, our children, our nieces, our nephews, our spouses, our siblings, our parents. You just never know the situation. Just put some type of protection in place to actually let that happen.
Okay. Yeah. So we got a question on the floor. We want to know what's some advice you'd like to provide for families and about the importance of insurance.
Some advice that I would like to provide for families is put something in place. The process that somebody should take with you should be cut and dry. It should be somebody discussing your situation and your situation only. Everybody's completely different. So, there are no cookie cutter molds to your future and your plan and what your plan looks like. So let a professional sit down with you and actually show you what your life looks like on a piece of paper, to do a needs analysis on you. Okay. And then once you go through the needs analysis, explain and let you understand and know what some of your options are, and then move forward with those options.
Okay. Very good. So I know life insurance, there's term, there's whole life. Just give a quick, brief rundown of what that covers.
Okay. So there are multiple types of life insurance. There's whole life, like you mentioned. I like to compare it to owning versus renting.
Okay.
Right. Owning is permanent. You own it forever as long as you make those mortgage payments. Right. And it has its features where you gain equity in your property. Whole life is the same exact way. Whole life is a permanent policy that gains a cash value over time that you have access to, that never expires. Term is equivalent to renting. It's for a certain amount of time. No other benefits other than just to keep a roof over your head. That's what term is. Now, there's also universal life as well. There's index universals. There's different type of universal life policies, but the more famous is the term and whole life.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I'm going to dive into a little bit of your financial background. Okay. Now, typically in the house, there's normally a person who's more of a spender and one that's more of a saver. Which one are you, Tori?
I'll tell you this. If I come home from my office another day and see another Amazon box outside, I think I'm going to cancel our membership.
I wasn't telling you to talk about what Mrs. Ford does. I was
the truth, right?
I was asking about you, not about nobody else.
Might I add? Let me add this to it too. I just found out that Amazon has a feature where you can put everything in one box, so it doesn't come in multiple boxes. Amazon's getting a little slick with their shipping.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry. Back to your question.
That's job security. Anyway, yes. So I'm assuming that you're saying you're more of the spender. I mean, the saver rather.
The saver. Yeah, I am. Okay. But my wife's not bad. She buys what she wants, of course, because we both work hard for it. But I'm more so of a saver than she is.
Okay. All right.
I would like to believe.
And where do you think you got that from?
I think I got that from my grandparents. Okay. My grandmother gave me a piggy bank when I was young and said, never crack it open unless it's an emergency. And that always stuck in my head. Okay. Always keep some money in your pocket for emergencies. You never know what's going on.
So some people may not know that you and I know each other from my last stop at Tallahassee Lenders Consortium. Yep. And we actually met at a post home ownership class that I was teaching. And, finances and budgeting and savings is something that I wholeheartedly would preach to the new homeowners, because once you have that home, you can't call the landlord anymore. You are the landlord. You got to get things fixed and maintained and repaired and that sort of thing. So I often wonder about the money scripts that people have, and that's based on how they grew up, typically, what their upbringing is, what they saw. So in my case, I think about the insurance man that used to come to my grandmother's house.
Yep. I get that all the time.
That's what you do.
Come in a suit, knock on the door. Grandma used to pass him a check. He used to go house to house to house to house.
Yes, listen. Yep. And in my case, grandma would go into Bosom National Bank, pull out $5 or whatever, and give it to him. You knew when the insurance man was coming. Right?
It's a new day now. We don't have to go house to house. We can just take it out of your bank account every month.
Indeed. But I think when you see that, see those examples as a youth, as a child, see your grandparents or your parents saving, or, you asking, like me, I remember asking my grandmother, like, what's going on? Why is this man coming by here to get this money every week or whatever? And she explained to me, this is insurance. This is in case, I die, so my family would have something.
I'm glad your grandmother said that to you, though, because a lot of responses I get from family members, the grandmother always said, mind your business, go in another room, mind your business, go in another room. This is grown folks. So I'm glad that she explained that to you.
But we've got to teach our children, you know what I'm saying? We got to teach our children about finances. And that's one of the things that I did with my son is, I would have him, I give him a certain amount a quarter, have him go to the grocery store, buy food, know how to buy food on a budget, how to cook. I would show him my bank account, and so he could see the things that were, the money that was coming in and the money that was going out. Now, I remember one time he saw it and I was at a negative and he felt sorry for me. It was the reality of, this is what we're working with. This is what we're dealing with. So, I know that sometimes parents are trying to have some separation there, but I think sometimes we need to let them know, kind of what's going on, what the situation is, so that they can understand the reality of it.
You have to be transparent. You have to bring awareness. You have to include. I actually was on another panel a couple of weeks ago, and the same question popped up about, should you include your kids in the day-to-day finance? My answer to that was absolutely. Why not? You have to teach them young. I think, and this is my personal opinion, this is not endorsed or backed by anybody, but I really think that finances should be taught at a young age in your household and also at school. I think that there needs to be some type of curriculum or program that's teach to these young kids about even how to balance a checkbook, how to save, and how a dollar can grow if you save it. Just day-to-day operations.
Absolutely. All right, we got another question. Roosevelt said, should one have both whole and term?
He knows I love that question. He's asking that question because that's something that I actually specialize in, and it's something called a blend.
Okay.
It really depends on your financial situation when it comes down to your plan. And if your need is a large need of insurance, then I would introduce something called a blend to you. And that's filling in the gap. The ultimate goal is to get whole life insurance. Whole life has so many features that you can actually bridge it on. That whole life is the path that we want to go down. But sometimes whole life is not the most affordable option.
Right.
So what we like to do is a blend. We like to start you on a whole life track, but fill that rest of that need in with the term to give you your overall need of insurance before a more affordable payment.
Okay. All right.
So I would suggest it, but it really depends on the situation at hand and your vision.
Right. Absolutely. What you're working with, basically.
Exactly.
Yes. What you're working with.
Yep.
So I also saw a question on your page that asks, how do you know if you have enough insurance? How do you know if you have enough insurance?
So the answer to that question is you need to do, well, you don't need to, but your financial agent, whoever you sit down with, they need to do something called a financial needs analysis on you. And they need to go over your debt to income ratio. They need to go over your overhead. They need to go over your mortgage or your rent. We need to go over your final expense. We need to go over whatever your day-to-day living is. We need to go over your debt. And then we put it all on a piece of paper and add it all up. And that is what your life looks like for you. So anytime that somebody sits down with somebody, hopefully it's me, shameless plug. But if it's not me, sit down with the professional that they have your best interests at hand. And it's not just about making $1 for them. You know, this whole thing it's a plan. So once you sit down with that plan, you have to be diligent enough to stick to it. Now, plans change every 6 to 12 months. Things happen to people. You know, you get a promotion at work, or you get fired, or something happens. You have a kid, or you buy another house, or those things are called life triggering events that we need to sit down and review and revisit your plan and see if it's still on track to your direction and where you want to go.
Right. So have you run across cases where people have had too much insurance?
Honestly, yes. Okay. I was with a family Saturday morning, and I was honest with them. You know, it's not about a sale. It's about showing them that you may have too much now. The outlook on it is there's no such thing as too much insurance, because your vision is to make sure that your second generation, your kids and everybody else are taken care of. But in that specific situation with that family, they were overinsured. Okay. So we kind of scaled back, and they loved it because it saved them some money. But I was honest, you know, I told them, you have too much, and this is why. As long as you have supporting documentation to kind of show on both ends, on the client's end, what I like to call family members end. I don't like to call people clients, but on the family members end, and on top of my end too, because my compliance department doesn't play the radio. So we need to make sure that we cross all our T's and dot all our I's, and make sure we have the proper documentation and the paperwork just in case we do get audited, which we do a lot because the financial industry is heavily regulated.
Right.
And that we have everything backed up.
Okay. So just to dive a little bit deeper into that question about how do you know if you have enough life insurance, is there some type of rule of thumb as it relates to, you know, so many times your salary or?
Yeah. So there's a short end and there's a long end question. The short end is, rule of thumb is everybody needs $1 million of life insurance. That's the cost of living, inflation, to keep up with everything. $1 million now is not going to be $1 million 10 or 15 years from now. Okay. Because of the inflation of life and cost of living is going to go up. But if you want to do 30 times your income, if you want to do a couple of million, depending on how many kids you have, the more popular solution is a lot of the state of Florida workers, depending on your employment level. If you're just an employee or if you're in a higher management role, they usually give you about 2 to 3 times your salary. And I'll tell you just off the back, if any state employees are watching, any city, county, or state employees are watching, we need to talk. If you own a house and that's the only thing that you say, yeah, I'm insured, and your income is going to cover that, we need to talk.
Okay. Y'all heard that. It's not enough. So you need to do more. You need to do more. Yeah. All right. So Michael Walker has a comment. He said, I learned about budgeting and finance the moment I had my first job at 8 years old. Had to contribute a part of my earnings towards the house. Love it. Learn about the different types of insurance as a result. Yeah, I don't think, I think that's great. I mean, I think especially since he had a job at 8, you know, learning the responsibility.
That's the second part of our conversation about accountability.
Exactly.
So, Michael, thank you. Exactly. Yeah, that's accountability, sense of urgency. That's something that we need to talk about as well. That really plays a part into your plan, because if you're not diligent, if you're not sound on your decisions, if you're not disciplined with your spending habits, 0 plus 0 is still 0.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive into accountability, I want to circle back to that love insurance term, love insurance. So tell me, where did that come from and what does that mean to you?
Love insurance to me, that means that you want to get something to cover something for somebody you love. Thinking about life insurance, the word life insurance, a lot of people don't like talking about life insurance. A client a couple weeks ago that says, you know, I've been so nervous to get life insurance because when I was growing up, my mom got life insurance and the next week she passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that term life insurance sometimes can be a negative tone rather than a positive tone. To each his own. I just like to lighten up the term and say love insurance, because that's what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for yourself. You're not getting that coverage for yourself. You're getting that coverage for the people who you love the most, to make sure they're taken care of.
All right. I like that.
Love insurance.
Love insurance. Love insurance. Yeah. You know, I'm a strong believer that words do make a difference. And when we change our perspective about things, then our demeanor, our countenance, our attitude will be different about it. You know?
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. I really do.
Absolutely.
So let's dive on into this accountability piece. It's, again, Man Up Monday. You know, men tend to attribute manhood to protection and provision. And when I thought about accountability, you know, before we got to this place, I thought to myself, you know, when I think about accountability, I'm thinking about being responsible. And men, I feel like, have a great sense of responsibility as being the head of the household, as being the protector, the provider, that sort of thing. And my thought was, you know, who's holding men accountable? You know, is it their wife or significant other? Is it their children? Is it their other family members? Is it their coworkers? Is it other people?
All the above. It's all the above. It's all the above. It takes a village. It really does. Now there's and reading through some of these comments, there are some strong brothers on this timeline. Some people I have conversation with every single week that are in my life that just play a role on me being me. Terrence Barber, Roosevelt Rogers. I saw Sean Pittman on here earlier as well.
Yes.
It's so many people who I just have day-to-day conversations with, being men, you know, just having a conversation about, you know, how to better your life, how to take care of your family. There's some strong brothers in our community that really stand up to be a man, to be men, and that makes a difference. But in my situation, I give my wife all the credit in the world. I really do. Because behind every strong black man is an even stronger black female. So I'll tell you, first and foremost, those long nights of seeing clients 10, 11, 12 at night, having to travel out of town on the weekends to go see clients, somebody has to hold the household down. Somebody has to watch my son. Somebody has to make sure that everything is ran the right way. Right. So having that cushion, having that feeling of, okay, at least I know home is taken care of. That's what makes men. I mean, outside of you putting on your pants every day and owning up to the responsibility of accountability, you really need a strong running mate, somebody to actually compliment you.
So, amen. Agree. I
mean, think about people like yourself, right? 13 years ago, you helped me out with the path of my life that I would have never even thought about getting into. You know, it's so many people around you. It's your circle of people that actually help you strive and get to that next level. Everybody has a different way of communicating and talking with you. It's just how you accept it.
True.
But thank you. I don't know if I've ever thanked you before, but thank you.
You have, and you are very welcome. So as it relates to accountability, where do you feel like finances plays a role?
I think that's in the top 2.
Okay.
I do. Now, I say that because money doesn't make the world go round, but it definitely helps. You know, it soothes a lot of people stress, if it's done the right way. Now, like the great Christopher Wallace said, the more money, the more problems. it definitely plays that part too, but it can definitely help. So if you're on the same page as your better half, finances can definitely help for sure. But it all falls and boils back down to accountability, because who do you point that finger at if something goes wrong? What's that famous saying? You point one finger forward, three's pointing back at you. So you have to own that ownership and say, okay, well, how can I make this whole situation better?
Indeed. All right. Michael said, as men, we must, I think he meant do better, holding each other accountable.
Michael, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. How do we do that, though?
When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. We all don't know everything, but when you know you're wrong, own it. Your circle of influence, make sure that you stay level-headed. Like if I post something on my social media that might not be a good look, I'm gonna get a phone call like, hey, you might want to think about that. Or if I'm out and I see somebody and say something, I'll get pulled aside to say, hey, like, think about what you're saying before you say it. Like that accountability to me means the world. The world. So Michael, I do agree with you. We must do better holding each other accountable.
Absolutely. So Roosevelt said, who is in your circle of influence? Make sure you have the right people. So he just verbatim.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick.
Yeah.
So this morning, for everybody who is not that inclined to the stock market, Apple and Tesla did a 4-for-1 and 5-for-1 split to make it more affordable for a lot of people to get into the market at a more affordable level, right?
Wow.
And Roosevelt and I had this conversation probably about 2 or 3 weeks. And I've been dragging my feet. I'm saying to myself, yeah, I'm going to do it. He texted me this morning. What's up? What's up? I'm like, hey, good morning. You sent me a screenshot. Of the market.
Right.
And again, what's up? I said, all right, I'm on it. Like that is accountability, holding each other accountable. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And having that strong figure behind you to say, okay, well, let's do this. Let's talk about that. Let's do this.
So, interesting that, and then maybe not so interesting, just all divine that this would come up, because I've been having conversations around accountability partners and mastermind groups. On What Women Want Wednesday, I had Lori Hunter on, and she's about to start a mastermind for women. But, accountability partners, I think, are something that we really need to get a hold of. A lot of times we are not as accountable to ourselves as you have so graciously displayed in your example. And our buddies can be like, hey, checking you, and not in a belittling or demeaning way, but just right. This is something you said you wanted. This is the opportunity right here. What you waiting on?
Do it.
Right. So keeping you committed to your commitments, holding you accountable to the things that you say that you want. We need that.
Yeah, it's needed. It's needed. Just I mean, I know this is Man Up Mondays. It's just not for men. It's for us as human beings.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to be accountable for your own actions. You really need to think about what you do and what you say before you do it and say it. Be accountable. But I mean, if you do it, own up to it. This is something I decided to do, and I did it. Yeah.
Very good. All right. So Johnny had a statement you might want to address. He said, you need money to be able to afford to establish a legacy.
100% false. I'm glad that Johnny asked that question. Johnny, if I asked you if you can give me $10 a month, right? And this is just a hypothetical situation. If you were to give me $10 a month, which you can probably miss one day of lunch or one day of a snack, because nowadays, I don't know if you've checked, but Hamburgers are like $9.95 now, not including fries and a drink. So how about we pack a peanut butter and jelly that day and you give me $10 a month? And I tell you, if something happens between now and 20 years from now, your significant other will have $100,000 tax-free. Would you believe it? So now that question that you posed to me about you need money to be able to afford and establish a legacy, you don't need a lot of money. $100,000 is a lot of money. You know, to think about a mere investment of $10 a month, which is $120 a year, you can scrape that up inside of the coin jar that you have at the house. Mm-hmm. So that's just one situation that you can really think about how to establish a legacy at a more affordable way.
And I would add to that, get with Tory, Johnny.
I'll show you. I told myself before I got on this, I'm not going to talk about myself and business and telling everybody to come see me. But now that you brought it up, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you, Johnny, and go over a plan and just talk about options. The options may not be best for everybody, but I can sleep at night knowing that at least I did my job and I introduced them to you so you know what they are. If you decided to move forward, all right, great. If you don't, I did my job in my community. I brought the awareness out.
Absolutely. So Des Michael said, when exploring affordability, where should we begin?
Accountability.
Okay.
It comes back. At the beginning, you know your finances better than your financial agent does. In due time, you grow together so they can pick up on your habits and pick up on. See, nowadays, social media made our job so easy, and I'm giving you all an insight. Nowadays, I mean, I can wake up in the morning and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I know what you ate. I know what you did. I know who you spoke to. I know what's going on. So those days prior to social media about me having to call you and say, hey, how did your week go? Fill me in on every day, what you do Monday, what you do Tuesday, what you do Wednesday. Social media made it easy for me to actually say, okay, hey, you're on social media on LinkedIn saying I just got a promotion. All right, well, guess what? Hey, I just saw that you posted. We need to get together. So that's exploring affordability is accountability and knowing your finances up front. Also, the opportunity to sit down with somebody who's licensed correctly to show you your options. I think also sitting down with somebody who has your best interests at heart and not the company and not their pocket also plays a major part. There's so many other ways, but that's just the major things to me. That's what hit homes to me.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I think you know, as has been brought out in some of the comments, people may be thinking that insurance is not affordable and it's out of reach.
So all right, so the perception of that word insurance, and that's why I say love, is because insurance can be structured so many different ways. We can set up a tax-free pension for you, a tax-free self-funded pension, right, in a form of a cash value whole life policy. I'll give you an example. The middle of last year, I met a couple who were business owners here in town. But because they own their own business, they're not able to have a 401k. Okay. 401k is an employee-sponsored retirement program that it's either contributing or non-contributing. But in their situation, because they own their own business, they're not eligible to contribute to a 401k. They didn't want to do IRAs. They didn't want to do anything like that because they didn't want to be at risk at market, right? So we sat down and we structured a plan for them where they make X amount of payments for X amount of time. They were 45, I believe, 45 at that time. They wanted to pay into this retirement plan for 10 years, stop paying, make no more payments.
Okay.
But at the age of 65, they wanted to be able to retire, travel the world, and get a great return and not have to worry about whatever Code Orange opens up his mouth in the morning and says to kind of shift the market. We don't have to worry about that, right? So I sat down with them. We were able to get them tax-free disbursements. We were able to get them creditor protected plans. If something was to happen at their business and somebody slips and falls, they can't come after it.
Okay.
We were able to get them a definite secure growth between 6 to 8% annual. And we were able to get them $85,000 tax-free for 10 straight years.
Wow.
You know what that's called? Whole life.
Mm.
A lot of people don't understand insurance can be used for so many more other ways other than just leaving money to a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have access to that cash is yours. Okay. It's how we structure it and how we build that plan for you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So Roosevelt said, auto pay the policy, you won't miss it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite.
Have it come right out of the check.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get it, before you take it home.
Yep.
All right. Good deal. So, we've talked about the different types of insurance. We talked about knowing if you have enough. We talked about love insurance. We talked about generational wealth. We talked about spending and saving and budgeting a little bit. One thing that I also did find before you came on is that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Liam, yep, Life Insurance Awareness Month. Tomorrow starts September.
Yeah,
that means that we can get into this awareness of a month on this big push about love insurance, about life insurance, about leave a legacy. So you'll see a lot of posts coming up in this month, but this month is definitely all about Life Insurance Awareness Month and bringing awareness to our community about the importance of it.
Okay. Outside of the different types and knowing that insurance can be structured different ways, is there anything else that you would have us know about love insurance?
Yeah, so it's if you're trying to come up with a comfortable number where you should be as far as budgeting out, I always use the simple 80-20 rule. And the simple 80-20 rule is out of 100% of your paycheck, we know 80% of that has to cover livelihood. You can't control anything other than what you're used to doing, your bills, your mortgage, and everything that falls up under that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
That other 20% is what we're working with.
Okay, gotcha.
That 20% is what you have to pay yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
How I tell people all the time is that 20% is broken down 3 ways. Out of that 20%, 10% of that is going towards a retirement plan. Your 401k, your 457s, your 403bs, your IRAs, your Roth or traditional.
Okay.
10% of that is going to it. And might I add too, if for anybody who's listening right now, if you do have a 401k and your company offers it and they are matching up to a certain amount of money and you're not electing into it, go to your HR department tomorrow and elect into your 401k because you're leaving free money on the table.
You are leaving it on the table.
Mm-hmm. Now, the amount that you contribute after your matching amount, that's a conversation that we need to have. But at least take advantage of the free money that your company is offering to you. Mm-hmm. If they don't, this is where your definitely 80-20 rule comes in, because that 10% now we need to divert towards an IRA, which is an IRA, individual retirement account.
Okay.
But out of that 20%, like I said, 10% of that is going towards a retirement plan. 5% is going towards a savings account. We call it rainy day money. Okay. So you can have liquidity and you can have access to that if something was to happen to you. Mm-hmm. That other 5%, guess where that's going? Give it to me for love insurance.
Okay.
So you take your annual income, times it by 5%, and then divide that by 12. Mm-hmm. That gives me a comfortable number on what you should be paying a month.
Okay.
Now, this is not a perfect world. Right. We know that things come up. So, we can adjust up, we can adjust down, whatever's comfortable for you. But that's just giving us a marker on where you should be.
All right. That's helpful. That's very helpful. All right. Johnny wants to know, is a physical required for the love policy?
I love that question, Johnny. I like your questions, Johnny. We need to talk.
Always has good questions.
Johnny's been doing his research. I like that. But to answer your question, so depends on the type of insurance we move forward with, depends on the amount, depends on the age.
Okay.
So I hope that answered your question. There's a lot of factors to that. There's just not one answer to that. It really depends on a numerous amount of things. But not all life insurance you need to do physicals for.
Right. So it may, but it just depends on some contributing factors.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. I like that 80-20 rule. 10% retirement, 5% savings, 5% for love.
Yeah, 5% for Tory.
Right. All right. So again, you all are getting the beginning. This is August 31st, but Life Insurance Awareness Month starts tomorrow. So be on the lookout for tidbits of information that Tory will be putting out, as well as others. So as we prepare to wrap it up, I just got to ask, why did you select New York Life?
So that's a great question too. I came from another company before getting recruited over to New York Life. And I made that change because of the products and services that New York Life offers to clients. I really don't like to sell on companies, but I like to sell on what the company would do for the person. So we're thinking about New York Life. They've been around for 175 years, right? So think about that for a minute. That's through all your Great Depressions, your World Wars, your Civil Wars, through your 2008s, through your 2020s.
Through your 2020s, Lord have mercy.
So accountability, longevity, that really means a lot to me. When I wear this blue square on my shirt, it means that a company you know and trust. It means that a company that has $35 billion with a B and just liquid money just sitting there, just in case the company goes belly up, we still have enough money to operate. We're talking about $554 billion that we have under management. That means a lot. That means that when I sit down with somebody like yourself, Nicole, and say, all right, we're going to pay this policy if something happens. To know that the company really is going to pay it, that's why I made this move. It's nothing against the other company that I came from. They were definitely strong as well. But it's just that move that I made was for the better of my clientele and where I wanted to go with my practice and my business, knowing, okay, even if I was to not be in this business, which the only way that I would get out of this business is death, that this company will be there for you. So for instance, right? Another example, I have examples for days.
Come on.
I met a guy the end of 2018. This really changed my life and my perspective and my outlook. And I hope it does the same for somebody that's out there listening right now. I met this gentleman, and I'll never forget this to this day. We were in Savannah, Georgia at a conference, and young brother, real sharp, walking with a limp, walking up on stage. So I'm like, okay, I knew almost everybody in the room, but I didn't know him. And I'm saying to myself, I love to meet new people. If I don't know you, I'm gonna walk up to you. Hey, how you doing today? Just casual conversation.
Right.
What do you do for a living? And just chop it up to see how we can build together. I didn't know this gentleman. So as he's walking up to the stage, I'm trying to make my way through the crowd and get to him. The conference started. Everybody take a seat. So grab a seat right in the front of where everybody was sitting at, because I wanted to get with him as he was getting off the stage. Come to find out, this gentleman told his story about how life insurance changed his life. The story went like this. Met his college sweetheart. They got married. They were going on a honeymoon on a Friday. They met with their New York Life agent Thursday at 5:00 before their Friday departure to Jamaica. So with New York Life, this is another reason why I chose this company, because New York Life does something unique that a lot of other companies don't. And when you sit down with an agent, they ought to offer something called a temporary coverage agreement. And what that does is bind your coverage. It puts it into effect the minute that you click submit. There's no lag time. There's no waiting around.
Okay, that's why Roosevelt asked that question. You know what? Y'all a tag team tonight, huh? I ain't mad at you. All right, so no lag time.
They met with their agent. They did their needs analysis. Come to find out, they both needed $500,000 of insurance.
Okay.
So they put something in place temporarily until they was going to come back into the country and kind of break up how they were going to do it. Sat down with their agent. It came to like $55 or $56 a month. Wrote the agent a check. Flew off to Jamaica, having the time of their life. Went on an excursion, a fishing excursion. The boat blew up.
Ooh.
He lost his wife.
Oh.
He lost half of his leg.
Oh my gosh.
In the explosion, and he was unconscious. He was in a coma.
That's tragic.
So they got him. They got both of them back to the States. And mind you, this is Jamaica, so their hospital care is not like pick up the phone, call 911. We're on our way. So it was a while before somebody actually got to them, which made him fall into a coma. So they got them both back to the States. The agent went to the hospital, delivered the death claim for his wife of $500,000 to a family member that was sitting next to his bedside.
Wow.
Delivered a $500,000 check for the man laying in the bed. Now, mind you, he wasn't dead. What we did was advance his death policy so he can pay for his hospital stay.
Oh, wow.
All of this triggered off of a $56 payment. If that doesn't make you believe in a company like New York Life, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that is a powerful story.
I don't know what will.
Yeah.
It brought chills to me. Like I was in tears as he's telling me the story, because he was like, this is my wife I'm sitting next to on a boat. I didn't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
I only make X amount of dollars a year. I didn't even have any money saved up for anything was to happen, because we were just starting our life together. Just bought a house. We're planning on a family. We're planning on later. So, and then boom, this happens. What am I gonna do?
But what a perfect example of accountability in your finances, right?
Exactly.
Which we're talking about both tonight. So,
yeah,
very, very moving story. Yeah. So, MUE, an entrepreneur, said this was a lot of information and positive financial and health literacy. I commend you all. Continue to make a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
People like Nicole that are having great platforms for people like myself to join. This is the things that we need for our community. So thank you for all you do, because you have a variety of different guests on your show, and I'm glad that I can actually add to it. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. Christopher is tuning in tonight. Thanks
for Chris.
Appreciate you. So before we go, I want you to, let the people know how they can connect with you.
So first and foremost, I'm local. I'm here. I'm in your community. I'm not a 1-800 number. You probably see me in Walmart. You probably see me in Publix. You probably see me at some of my brother Terrence Working Class Wednesday events. Right. I'm here in the community. So my social media handles are definitely monitored by our compliance department. So I had to get rid of the Tory Ford Financial Services.
Okay.
So everything is at DJ Speed Racer. That's my other life as well. But on top of that, email tgford@ft.newyorklife.com. It's tgford@ft.newyorklife.com. You can give me a call. My cell phone number, 914-879-7029. We can set up a Zoom to get together because of what's going on now, or we can set up a social distance meeting. We can get together, and I'll be more than happy. I'll be honored actually to have the opportunity to help as many people as possible who want the help, who really don't need that, who really don't know that they need the help. That I'm here for you.
Indeed. Throw out the number one more again for me.
914-879-7029. And I'm on Facebook as Tory Ford, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that's looking right now, we have mutual friends, including Nicole, so you can find me that way as well.
And on social is
Yep.
a Speed Racer.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. So, number of people just saying great information. Thanks, great information. So, I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, thank you.
This is really good, really good, really good.
And if anybody has any questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Please ask me. Email me, text me, inbox me. Like I told everybody at the start, I don't know all the answers, but the stuff that I do know, we could talk about, and the stuff that I don't know, we can actually find answers out together. So ask them.
Absolutely.
Ask them.
All right. Roosevelt said he enjoyed Man Up Monday tonight. So very good. That's what it's all about.
No joke. Oh, wow. A lot of people.
Yes. Well, y'all keep this conversation going, because we definitely need to be talking about accountability and finances. This will remain on the Conversations with Nicole Facebook page, but also be on the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel, now would be a good time to do so. That way you can have access. Look at Tori looking like, am I subscribed?
No, I am. I'm actually going to ask you if we could do this again, because I enjoyed myself. Hopefully you got
good. Yeah, we'll have to have you come back. So the women are on Wednesday. I do What Women Want Wednesday. So I want you to come back and speak to the ladies.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to bring one of my counterparts with me. You know, I
like
to work in teams, just like you said. Working together as a team gets you to the goal a whole lot faster. It's like Transformers. Everybody working together.
Exactly. Together.
I can bring the counterpart with me, and we could tackle it.
We can do that. We can have several of your female counterparts, which very well. So absolutely. So Johnson said, much needed platform. Thank you both. Our pleasure. Thank you for being on. And my partner is giving me the signal that I need to mention Roku. So
GT. What's up, GT? And Miss Milton, I'm still waiting on your call, Miss Milton. We'll get together tomorrow.
Okay, there you go. So I gotta mention that Greater Works Network is on Roku, and we want folks to connect to the network. You can go on Roku and do a search, type in Greater Space Works Space Network, and add us as a channel. Again, this show was streaming live tonight on Roku TV. Roku has 40 million viewers. 40 million viewers. So that is global. Yes. So we're a new network, started 2 weeks ago, and we are looking for content. We are looking for people to watch our content. Currently, what's being broadcast is Conversations with Nicole, but we got a lot of great and wonderful things that we're trying to do here. So connect with us there. We have a content providers contest going on right now that'll run through September 14th, and we're asking people to pitch their idea for a project, for a show, for a film, for a documentary, for a podcast. So we're asking folks to participate in that contest, and we are going to select 2 winners. And
can I participate?
You sure can.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. So get us a 60-second video pitching your greater work, pitching your idea, hashtag my greater work on it.
Can I pitch now? Well, listen, my idea.
No, not now. Not now. You so funny. All right. Deidre giving us some stars. Jocelyn said, yes, sir. So she'll talk to you tomorrow. Cool. All right. Well, I again want to thank you once again, Tori. This has been just delightful. We'll definitely have to have you come back and share some more.
Let's do it.
And keep us posted with what you have going on too.
I will, and I'm gonna get better. I started getting to a point where I couldn't take on any more people because I didn't want the work to kind of drag, because I was trying to manage a load. But I'm starting to get caught up right now, so I'm a stiffler at work. So I don't want to take on too much and give somebody don't provide the service that's needed. So
I understand.
I'm caught up and
accountability.
Yep, I'm taking more people on. So
accountability.
Anybody who you know Any family members, any siblings, any brothers, sisters, neighbors, coworkers can use products or services, I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk. I like to talk to people anyway, so talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Nice to meet you.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, so Gerald put the link up for me for the Submit Your Greater Work contest. So please take advantage of that. We definitely want to hear your ideas and hopefully help you produce your idea, your project. So good deal. All right, we are going to bid you all good night. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. All right, peace.